I think it's safe to say that the zombies community is a little bit mad right now. If you don't know what happened, yesterday at COD Next, people saw gameplay of Liberty Falls, which is the other zombies map that's going to be releasing with Black Ops 6 at launch in a couple of weeks. And depending on where you fall in the zombie should be this or should be that argument, there's a lot of people that are really upset about it and just don't even think Black Ops 6 is good at all anymore. So in the spirit of that, I tweeted, "What's your hottest take about Black Ops 6 zombies?" And we're going to be going through a bunch of the replies, and I'll tell you if I agree with them or whether I disagree with them. And you guys can jump in on the action too, so tell me in the comments what is your hottest take about Black Ops 6, and when you're down there, appreciate a like. Let's jump into it. The first one here, we're going to be starting off spicy with Big Boy Bean 457. Not a hot take, but I hate these OG zombies purists. They don't understand that gaming and zombies has changed. We need to stop putting new games and the new players down. It makes new zombies fans not want to interact with the community, which limits our community's potential. I'm actually going to agree with you on this one. I do think that new zombies is not perfect in any way, shape, or form. There is a lot of flaws with it, but you can't deny that zombies is still undoubtedly extremely popular. Treyarch is not dumb, Activision is not as dumb as we would like them to believe. There is a lot of people who are playing zombies currently. There's a lot of people that really enjoyed Cold War zombies. It actually had the most players that zombies has ever had at one point. Yes, you could make the argument that it was during COVID and that Cold War was kind of an outlier with that whole thing, but the new zombies formula is undoubtedly working in some way, shape, or form, and it is moving the needle for them. And I do think that old zombies fans can't just put aside their hatred for these new games to accept that some people do enjoy the new ones. It's created an extremely toxic culture for new players that come into the zombies community and maybe want to explore it and then go back to the old games where they just see that they're hated right away for enjoying something that the older crowd who enjoys Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the case may be, they see that they're not welcomed around here and they just don't interact with it. That's why it's so easy for the zombies community to believe that these fans don't even exist, is because they're usually a little bit more casual than the hardcore zombies community who's been around for 10 plus years, and because they just don't feel welcomed around here. That's one thing the zombies community needs to do better in the future, is to be able to have healthy discussions about these things and to be able to accept that people do enjoy different games from one another, and that just because you enjoy a newer style of zombies doesn't mean that you don't enjoy the old one or appreciate it, or that you're not some cultured person and you're not based and we hate you. Then moving into the second one, we have JRox133T. The guided Easter egg is a good thing. It doesn't give you bots to do every step for you. It doesn't make normal version of the Easter egg easy like Cold War. There's rewards for doing the eggs early, and there's rewards for completing the egg not in guided, making more people want to go for it. I'm actually going to agree with this as well. If you don't know, Black Ops 6 is going to have a guided version of the main quest for Liberty Falls, and I believe for Terminus as well. It's not going to give you the same level of rewards that you would get for completing on the regular version of zombies, and I do believe it's going to be a little bit easier, but what it does do is it actually brings in more people into enjoying the storyline, and it gets a lot of people enjoying the main quest, because Treyarch said themselves that a lot of people just weren't even completing the main quest, even during Cold War where they were considered easier than in years past. So I believe that this is a really great middle ground between making the main quests even easier than they were in Cold War, or making them too hard and just pushing people away again from trying to complete the main quest and just having people not get into the story even more than they already are. Giving that extra incentive for people who want to do it normally, and then I believe there's also going to be a harder version of it after launch, they said. This is a great middle ground, and I think that everybody's going to win this way. Next one up is Forbidden. Streaks don't belong in this mode. Being able to buy unlimited missiles or chopper gunner is stupid. Just an infinite out of jail free card. They are just there so not so good players can still get massive numbers of kills on higher rounds. Mango arms is cool though. Once again, I'm absolutely going to agree with this. I don't think that streaks should be in zombies. They were a cool experiment with Cold War, but at this point they are extremely broken. If you're someone who plays a lot of video games and you've been playing zombies for a long time, then you're going to easily exploit the shit out of these things. Yesterday during COD Next, someone actually got into a chopper gunner, and at least from what we were able to see, you could be in that chopper gunner for like 3 times as long as you could, even in Cold War zombies. That thing is extremely broken, and it's going to have to be nerfed after launch. I understand why they're there. It's to try to get people who like Warzone and like multiplayer to have those things that feel familiar to them, but at the same time, they are just broken, and they're going to make already easy high rounds even easier, because why care about boss zombies when you can just streak them and get rid of them instantly? Then we have Cretin. Camo grinding is the worst thing to happen to zombies. I'm going to disagree with this actually. I think the camo grinding has brought in a new type of player that never even interacted with zombies beforehand. Call of Duty is an extremely casual game by its nature. It's been popular for over 20 years, and there's so many people who just come home from work, they want to sit down, play for an hour or two, and they really don't give a shit about certain things. There's a lot of people who don't care about the story in zombies. There's a lot of people who don't care about getting to high rounds or don't have the time to do it. Or for whatever reason, zombies has just never interested them from a gameplay standpoint. But introducing something like camo grinding, which has been proven to be super successful in multiplayer and in Warzone, bringing that in and giving people zombies exclusive camos to grind for has given them that incentive to keep playing. And yes, obviously it does encourage a certain style of gameplay where people are just going to be playing only to get camos, but on the flip side of that, hopefully it does attract a certain number of people who maybe didn't really enjoy zombies in the past, but they're really enjoying this one and they're going to continue playing it for more than just camo grinds. I think that's one of the few things that MW3 Zombies did really well, was that it actually got people to care about camo grinding, and I hope that that continues in the future. I hope that they keep giving us more and more camos over time, because it gives YouTubers, it gives hardcore players, casual players, everybody something to do throughout the year while we're waiting for new maps to come out. Ooh, then this one's spicy. Humphrey says, abominations are overused and annoying. They took everything good about Amargwa and ruined it. I agree with this one hard. I have never been a fan of the Abomination. This goes back to what I was saying about Scorestreaks. Players are always going to find something that's extremely overpowered, and if you have bosses coming at you every round or two like the Abomination did in Cold War, and like it looks like it's going to be in Black Ops 6 Zombies, especially on Liberty Falls, then these things are just going to be annoying as shit. I'll even go one step further, and I'm going to say that I didn't like the Margwa either. I don't like having a boss that you have to shoot at one specific head. Zombies is a chaotic mode, and I don't always have the chance to go for headshots or shoot at one specific mouth, especially if you're using controller and you have aim assist. That's just a mess. Maybe I'm becoming a boomer. Maybe I'm just getting too old. I'm 25 years old, and I'm not very good at video games in general anymore, but it's just annoying as hell to have to shoot at different heads, and I don't like that system in general. I don't mind zombies and bosses having one weak spot. That's completely fine with me. If I only have to shoot at one thing, that's okay, but one mouth opening up and then being completely immune, or basically immune if you're not shooting at that exact spot, then it's kind of stupid. This one's also spicy. Woody says, Liberty Falls looks and feels empty from the gameplay, but when it launches and there's an Easter egg to drive the gameplay, it will feel like a normal zombies map with appropriate depth. This is another one that I'm going to have to agree with. Liberty Falls looked bad in the footage that we saw yesterday. There's no sugarcoating that. It really did look kind of bland. I think that part of that was the fact that a lot of the people that were playing it yesterday were Warzone players, or they were multiplayer people who either didn't care about zombies or just weren't curious about looking for things. If you actually look at the lineup of people who were invited to Call of Duty Next to go play Liberty Falls, there was only a couple of zombies YouTubers. So if you didn't actually look at their streams and you were looking at the main Call of Duty stream where they were skipping around to a bunch of different content creators, it didn't look very good. At the same time though, that is probably the first time that these people have played this map, so there's going to be a certain level of trying to figure out what's going on and just not look bad on stream. Even if you don't care about zombies, you're probably just sitting there playing like, alright, let's just get to round 10, who cares if we die. When we actually get it in our hands though, and we're going to be playing it as the hardcore zombies community, it's going to feel a lot different because the Easter eggs were also disabled yesterday for COD Next, so that's one thing that I think is really important as well. Another thing to keep in mind is that Liberty Falls is not meant to be the main map for Black Ops 6. That's meant to be Terminus. Liberty Falls is basically meant to be the side map. It's meant to be the 5 or the giant of Black Ops 6. And it does look and feel like a Warzone style map, or like MWZ, whatever you want to call it, because I think it kind of is. It's going to be the map that everybody's going to be playing for camo grinding. It's a much smaller map and one that's really kind of easy to get into, and one that's not going to be super challenging for newer or bad players. Whereas Terminus is going to be for all the dorks that have been playing for the last decade like us, who want stuff to explore, want bigger maps, and we actually have to figure things out. We want to play 5-6 hour games to look at every tiny detail. And then for the last one of today, we're going to go over Rye. I'm just sitting here wondering why everyone's opinion changed after the next event. It's literally exactly what we were told to expect. Cold War with a sprinkle of BO4. Liberty Falls will be the equivalent of the giant in a sense, while Terminus will be the big launch map. Once again, I'm going to have to hard agree. We already saw what Terminus looked like before COD Next. I don't know why this came as such a shock to people that Liberty Falls didn't look drastically different. Did people expect it to be an entirely different game or something? I think the thing that happened is that everybody saw the cutscene for Liberty Falls and how good it was and decided, whoa, this is going to be a big banger of a map. This is going to be as good, if not better, than Terminus. But honestly, if you looked at any of the screenshots or the stuff that we saw of Liberty Falls before this, you kind of should have seen this coming. Again, not to say that it wasn't a disappointment, but it was always billed to be the little brother map to Terminus's big brother. So you guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments, comments, what about Liberty Falls specifically upset you? Because if Terminus didn't upset you, then what is it about Liberty Falls? I saw a lot of people saying that it was the lighting, a lot of people said that it was the layout. I'm not really sure, go tell me in the comments. And actually that one was meant to be the last one for this video, but I'm going to include one more from BO6 Zombies Enjoyer. My hot take on BO6 is that I genuinely believe it has more potential than Black Ops 3 Zombies. However, it's entirely up to Treyarch to realize that potential or not. And regardless of whatever I say here, I'm going to get cooked in the comments, so you guys can debate that one in the comment section down below. Or down there, I'd appreciate a like. Thank you for everyone who submitted their answers for this. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna do more of them in the future, I think, if you guys like it. Subscribe, we're trying to pass Call of Duty Japan in subs. Now go watch some stuff that's on the screen right now. It's all really good, and I do a lot of stuff on this channel. Thanks, bye.